Sogळ्या आमचे Herald TV पळयणाऱ्यांक माय मोगाचो येवकार. 2022 Qatar World Cup, and it is now the only match, and that's the finals being played today, Sunday at 8:30 p.m. The whole world will be watching the two stalwarts in football. And when we talk of Argentina and France, everybody is talking about two stars, superstars. One is obviously Lionel Messi and the other is Kylian Mbappe. But much more than a Messi versus Mbappe clash, the World Cup final will be a date with a history for Argentina and France. Basically, it will be a battle of two individuals with one number, and that's number 10. Messi has turned out to be a magician, the PlayStation footballer, quite possibly the best in the world. Mbappe, prodigious talent, scored only two fewer World Cup goals than Messi, but is aged 23, and he will take over the 35-year-old Argentinian's mantle as the best player in the world. Today, Messi is a playmaker, not only striker, and a supreme playmaker, and just not a non-stop goal machine. What is in store for all of us will be dissected by our panelists, our stalwarts who have kept this program Bandit with Herald TV alive for the last now 29 days, and will be completing very soon 30 and 31 programs. Thanks to the cooperation of our panelists, and we have two experts with us, our very own Gavin Araújo.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome, Gavin Bob. Nice to have you today, and the last is tomorrow. And then I think people will miss you and your comments and your expertise that you have shared with us.
Pleasure.
And we have another young upcoming future of the development of football in Goa, I would say. He is not very new, but whatever he has learned during the last 10 years that he is there with the Goa Football Development Council, I think we should utilize his expertise that he has developed, and especially at the grassroots baby league level, so that we have a brighter, better and bigger future for football. That is what we need. Welcome, Franklin Romko.
Thank you so much, sir.
I will not take any special mention. How do you feel about tonight's final? Gavin?
All excited, sir. And let's see if it, as you said, whether it's Messi taking the trophy or Mbappe for the second time in succession.
Franklin?
The excitement and the thrill is definitely there in today's final. The whole world is watching this particular final, and Argentina versus France, it's a big game. You have Messi, who's going to be playing probably his last World Cup, that is what he says, and Mbappe, who has already won it in the previous edition. So for me, it's going to be the best player versus the best team of the World Cup.
Yeah, but then today's final is much more than Messi versus Mbappe. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, there are other great players also coming in, both the sides. You have maybe later on Di Maria will be introduced. Again, we have on France's side Griezmann, who can take over from Mbappe. So if the more focus goes on the right side of the opponent teams, that is France's left, the other side get more space. So I think it's going to be like that. So more focus going on the main players, and the other players can flourish as well.
But I think both the teams have got many weapons other than these two that we have been referred to. And I think the match can be decided by other players and not necessarily by those two. Franklin?
Definitely, yes. We have seen in the last previous matches in the World Cup itself that other players have come and produced the goods. Firepower is not less in both the sides. But again, you will always count on your super players and those talismanic players like Messi and Mbappe to deliver some goods. But definitely, in a game like this, anyone would be pumped up and looking towards scoring a goal.
And I think it's a history in the making. Argentina won in 1978 and 1986. France in 1998 and 2018. And now they want to retain the trophy. What do you think?
I think same thing happened in '94 when Brazil played Italy. Both had, I think, 3 titles each. And it was a stalemate, went to the tiebreaker. And Brazil won the 4th time that year, and of course in 2002 they won again.
So there's a history in the making, Franklin.
Yes.
How do you see that?
See, the history is on France's side at the moment. They are the better team, and they will want to retain this title and go into the history books. My heart slowly goes towards Argentina, and I wouldn't say they definitely are going to win, but I hope they're going to win this particular match today.
But most of the people all over the world expect Messi, and they want Messi, maybe because this could be his final last. And the prospect of Messi finally winning a World Cup in his last tournament has brought extra flights of Argentinian fans to Qatar, and at least 40,000 Argentinians are estimated to be in the stadium today. Now, there are no tickets available. Tickets with a face value of $750 are being sold, are being offered for more than $4,000. I don't know how people are going to buy, but then $4,000, is it worth?
More than 4 times. So that is the excitement what I think the people are coming for. Going back to the teams, I think France has little age. For me, it will depend upon how Argentina line up their formation against them. For definitely, they will not have more of the ball and they will rely on pace and power. France will rely on pace and power.
Messi has issued a war cry to his fans ahead of the final. He is aiming to add the World Cup trophy to his cabinet with a victory on Sunday. The 35-year-old star said, "I am ready for the big game."
Messi has been playing exceptionally well. We have been discussing all this while, and his performance has been completely out of this world. He's absolutely a leader and the captain of the side, and this war cry that he has issued is definitely trying to say about the confidence that he has in himself and his particular team. But it's the final. There will be added pressure onto him, and I just hope, though France have an edge, Argentina do have their golden boy Alvarez with them.
Yes. And mind you, France does not have all their superstars.
Like I mentioned once in the previous episodes also, even if you look at their substitutes, you look at their reserves, they have plenty of depth in their talent. And even if you don't have the 1 or 2 players who are missing, there is ample of talent available who will come up and fill up the spaces.
The contest, they say, is not between the 2 stalwarts. The contest, they say, is between 2 nations. And goalkeeper Hugo Lloris said, "The final is not about the 35-year-old star. We need to pay attention to Messi, but he said this final is not just about him." What do you say?
I think he's just taking the pressure of everybody else and transferring it to the team. We know this big matches are decided by top players at times and moment of brilliance. And when I see France, most of the difficult matches have been decided by Mbappe. And if it's going to be today, he's going to be at the center of that.
France, they have achieved a rare feat of making it to back-to-back finals. And a victory would see them become only the 3rd team after Italy in 1934 and 1938 and Brazil in 1958 and 1962. Franklin?
So again, like I mentioned, France will be trying to look into the history, and history will favor them, is what they hope. And in making this kind of back-to-back titles will put them with the elite nations like Italy and Brazil in the past. And this is a completely formidable side. They are full of talent, and they definitely can do. There's no thought process where they say like they will not be able to do it, because they have come all guns blazing, and this particular team is the best team in the tournament, is what I would say.
We are coming to the halfway mark. We have the interval. Don't go away. Stay back with us and watch this program, Bend It with Herald TV, which is supported by Decathlon Kalangut, Martin's Corner Betalbatim, Adlen Goin Family Restaurant, Doryadegir Multi Cuisine Restaurant Old Goa, and Martin's Place Village Bistro Navelim. Stay back.
Please do drop in at a small little family restaurant called Adlen Goin, which is just 5 minutes from Basilica of Born Jesus and Say Cathedral. In this small restaurant, we serve authentic Goan cuisine, and we are known even for our fresh fish, chicken, mutton, etc. Also, we are known even for the other cuisines like tandoori, Indian, Indo-Chinese. So why don't you come over? Also, we have a full-fledged bar, and our bartenders do really good, amazing cocktails and mocktails. And also, most important point, we are having a live premiere of the FIFA World Cup. So do drop in with your family and friends, and for reservations, dial the number on the screen.
Today we are at Martin's Place, and the ambience, sarke chod bare. Like, look at this, so spacious and so nice. You feel like dancing. So let's cheers for it. The food here is next level. Like, it's so good, and so the prawns, guys, they were so kurkurit. Like, it is approved by Mr. Kurkurit. So look at me, eat them. And Goan sausage stuffed sweets. Kitne lagtale re ho. Sam ke kadis boom bang zata. Ani tenge signature dish mila mare stuffed crabs. Kitne lagta bara pure crab meat, white wine, ani cream, ani cheese gun. Jauna khayl mera ami prawns pulao ani chicken kafrial. Kafrial ki lagta har ke chod bare ta pulao.
Welcome back. You are watching Bend It with Herald TV, and this is our presentation concerning the 2022 Qatar World Cup. We had one match yesterday, Saturday, to decide the third place, and Croatia defeated gritty Morocco 2-1 in the playoff, and Croatia finished third. Don't think that it was an easy match. It was a very intense match, lot of suspense, lot of tension, and finally a very big argument even with the referee by the Moroccans. Croatia, runners-up in 2018, they had also finished third in 1998 World Cup, beating Netherlands 2-1. Josko Gvardiol put Croatia in front after a well-designed set-piece play. He scored with a brilliant diving header. But it took Morocco just 2 minutes to restore parity, also from a free kick, and it was Achraf Dhari who scored with a close-range header. Croatia scored the match winner 3 minutes from the break as Orsic netted a dipping, curled shot from inside the area that went in off the post. They say that it was a super fantastic goal. It grazes Bono's finger and hits the post and enters in. It was, I believe, one of the best goals that was scored yesterday.
I was very excited for the first goal. I mean, yeah, there is brilliance in the second goal, but to get the first goal right, they must have trained so many times. It was right from the training ground. Like Modric running over the ball for a dummy, Maya chipping with his left foot, Perisic lay off with the head, and then Gvardiol heading it, as you said, with a diving header. I think that was very well worked with a very good team effort.
You see, there's not much hype about Croatia, but I think they've been playing wonderful football.
And yesterday they were a ready team. They came in favorites and they did the job. The way they lined up also we have to see, because they came up with a different formation. They showed on paper something else, but it was normally 3-5-2. Perisic was shown in the left back, but he was not in the left back. So for me it was like 6 in midfield: Modric, Kovacic, Perisic, Oric, Kramaric, and on the right it was Meyer. So there were 6, and they completely overwhelmed the midfield of Morocco. Although the possession is almost same, but you could see they had a better possession. They created a little more chances, but better chances, and I think the better team has won.
Do you feel that Croatia had at least a slight upper hand over Morocco?
I'd like to go with what Gavin has said, and the way he has put in, you can say how tremendously he is in his coaching, because the well articulated set piece, the dummy run, the cross, the header inside, and the diving header into the goal, that is only on the training ground that you can practice and perfect it only on the match day. Other this kind of free kicks you don't see usually, and the way it left the Moroccan players into disarray, they were not sure what was going on, and that what took them by surprise. And Croatia, if you see, they have been a very decent side who has been progressing along. Not the favourites, but they have put a very commendable performance in this World Cup. Many of them said the previous World Cup, they just reached to the finals. But there also performance was there. In this team also there was particular performance.
The victory could see Captain Luka Modric end his World Cup career with a bronze, although the 37-year-old has not called a time on his retirement. Modric made his 162nd appearance for Croatia. He is 37 years old, but I believe he played like a 20 or 25-year-old.
I think all the matches, and it comes from his club side. He completes almost every match. He gives more than 100%. Yesterday he was the center of the midfield, just playing in front of the back three. He was dictating everything. And even Perisic, if you see in the second half, to come down and defend as the last defender, he defended a very good ball from Moroccan players. To come down so deep to defend, and every time I say it's a desire of the player. He is a very attacking player. Normally attacking players will not defend behind the back four, and he was there to defend.
Now, you as a coach, you have been now with FC Goa elite team, and then you have been a player. What do you think Goa needs to do?
I think we need a plan for the players. I think the players are there. For them to develop, we need a better plan. We need to give them opportunities, like more clubs, more teams, more tournaments. We can talk about a lot of things, but we are not exposing them to this environment. We can have the best trainers, the best trainings, the best training grounds. Right now, if you see, ISL has been held over here for last 2 years just because better facilities. And we can talk about that. Nothing's going to change, because if we are not exposing our players, if I look at my team, they have, there was a pandemic. So they have not played for the last 3 years a single match.
And it will affect their career.
Yes, okay. Leaving pandemic aside, even if they reach the semi-finals or finals of All India, they are not playing more than 15 matches a year. And how are we expecting them to live up to Asian standard, which other countries and European standard who are playing 50, 60 matches a year?
But we in Goa, we are in India, we are in Asia, our road to stardom is pretty tough.
Yeah, because I think we are not exposing our players. Again, I mean, it comes to the organizations who control the things, and I'm not blaming anybody. Maybe we don't have that capacity to organize a lot of tournaments throughout the year.
And Morocco missed finally the chance to become the first African nation to pick up a medal. That's what they wanted. They came very close to the late equalizer, but the goalkeeper, Dominic, denied Necessary. Morocco were ultimately happy that they were among the best 4 teams in the world. They provided everyone with a good show. They never gave up. It was the second defeat now for Morocco yesterday, whose players looked tired but did everything whatever they could.
After the semi-finals, both teams would have been really disheartened, and to lift themselves up and go into this third place required a lot of motivation, and that is sometimes we require sports psychology, which has been highlighted in your previous editions. You to lift up after such a enormous semi-final defeat, and to come up and play the way they have played is brilliant by both the teams. Just I think before the pre-match commence, the Croatian coach was more uplift. They were more upbeat, saying that this is a medal that we want to achieve it, and this is what we are going to try and win it. However, the Moroccan coach was still disheartened, and he was saying it's a heartbreak, and to go in 2 days and just perform was difficult.
They were also talking about the protests they lodged. They were not being happy with the referees and all that. I think so that acted more in a negative way than the positive.
Probably yes. In any match, the losing team always has a lot of hue and cry, and referees are always to be blamed in every situations. Certain ways, maybe yes, the FIFA has to look into where you put the right referee for the right matches, and especially those who have had those number of international matches. But if you do not put the right referees, you will always get so much of complaining happening.
There were complaints even from Portugal's Bruno and several others also.
As well.
Because they said you need to have an European-based referee who has dealt with Champions League matches, which are pretty tough, and not the Latin Americans.
I totally wouldn't agree that. I would still say international level, some number of matches that have they've officiated, because even you have in South American the matches, they are brilliant referees who are there, and they are really high tension matches, high volatile matches. You must be very much aware when Brazil or Argentina, whether it's Bolivia or even Ecuador, matches have been very
they are tough.
They are very tough to handle.
What I'm asking is common for both of you. Morocco showed their strength, and that African football is prepared to face the top teams in the world with efficiency and playing at the highest level. Morocco has, with all their show, allowed children to dream of being footballers and going to the World Cup. That is priceless. They have made a very big impact in Morocco and have set the ball rolling and the bar very high. They hope that in 15 years, an African team will win the World Cup. It is through experience one gets stronger and hopes to learn and grow and build in children a football DNA that lasts.
I think this was said earlier also once they progressed to the quarterfinals. That is, now the natives will dream of playing for their country rather than to migrate and playing for France or any other European country. And that actually it's like a role modeling for the children. Now they're dreaming to play for their own country.
I think it's very interesting to see from here on how Morocco will go ahead, because there should be no stopping now them. They've laid down a red carpet for the future generation to come ahead, and like you mentioned that if they do not join some other nation, whether it's Spain or whether it's Portugal for the matter, and stick to their country can definitely reach to one of the finals, if not win it in the next 15 years.
And talking about refereeing, yesterday Morocco defender Hakimi was furious after his team's defeat to Croatia and took his frustrations on the FIFA president. Hakimi approached the FIFA president Infantino after the game in the tunnel. They were, I believe, only about 5 centimeters one from another. He stood in front of Infantino and with a raised voice, he ranted to Infantino about the referee. It was very painful.
I think the officials should leave the players alone at that moment because it's the heat of the moment. If you ask Hakimi now, I'm sure he will be not very happy about his own behavior. The heat of the moment takes a lot away. I know the losing team always, there is a problem they create with the referee. And that comes to the heat of the moment. I mean, nobody wants to lose.
Forgotten.
I think the officials actually should keep distance from the players at that moment.
Also in life they say that if you are instigated, it all depends on how you respond to instigation.
Yeah, so it's better to respond than to react. When you come back to about 15 years of African, I like to talk about
Sure.
Asia, that is Japan.
Yeah.
Japan are planning for 2050 World Cup. So
That's
they want to
nice.
win that.
That's
So
nice.
we are not very far away from Europe and Africa.
Franklin?
Well, what the episode that happened with the president and Hakimi, I think again that it's a heat of moment, and the president at the position that he is, he's not going to respond in a negative manner. He knows how football is played. He knows how players react. Even officials, I think you have to give sometimes credit to the officials because they understand what the player is going through, and certain decisions don't go in their way, whether it's a right decision or wrong decision. It never goes in a particular player's favor, and definitely not in the losing team's favor. But when you look back, when he definitely Hakimi will look back, he will regret what he has done there. And I think at the heat of moment, I think everything should be accepted.
It should be cool
Yes,
at the end
yes.
of everything. We are coming to the end of our episode, and we are thankful to our two panelists who are here with us today. A lot of sacrifice was entailed from both of you.
sir.
You have responded pretty well. We are very, very, very grateful for your participation in our episodes. Thank you, Gavin. Thank you, Franklin.
Welcome,
Pleasure, sir.
Pleasure.
This program was supported by Decathlon Kalangut, Martin's Corner Betalbatim, Adlengoy Family Restaurant, Doryadegar Multi-Cuisine Restaurant Old Goa, and Martin's Place Village Bistro Navilim. Thanks for watching, and we have one more episode tomorrow, and then we'll close it for the 2022 Qatar World Cup. Bye-bye.